How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Grip Lock, Foundation Disc Golf's weekly podcast. I'm Hunter, joined as always by Trevor and Konner.
Yeah, boy.
We had one heck of a Waco annual charity open go down this past weekend.
Waco.
Waco is always wacko, and this didn't really disappoint.
Not at all.
So we're really just going to go through that, talk a little Trevor's trivia, give you a little update on the pick'em, and I'm going to say it, but we're probably not going to get to it. We'll see if we can get to our top 10.
We'll see.
We're back on this again.
But
I missed it.
we're only 2 events into the season, so it's not the end of the world if we don't get to it.
To be fair, because we're only 2 events in the season, we probably should just do it very knee-jerk because we won't have to use stats. We can just rattle it off.
Number 1, Ezra.
Well, we'll see.
Well, let's just say.
Stay tuned to see who number 2 is.
Let's just say it right now. When we get to the end of the show, we're doing a no stats top 10.
Okay, we'll see.
That way
we'll see how much time we have, and we'll judge how in depth we go based on that.
No
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying like
no stats.
No stats.
But if we only have a few minutes, it's just going to be like no discussion period.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
We'll
see.
No stats can still mean we discuss based on gut. I'm saying if we're like, because we're trying to film a very big disc golf video today, and by big I mean it's going to take a long time to film.
Hunter, we already filmed a big disc golf video.
It's break 136.
Yeah, we had to break 136. We're playing New London twice.
Disc,
just kidding.
The big disc.
That is funny. But anyways, before we get into all of that, time for a word from our sponsors. All right, folks, get ready for the ultimate grooming showdown. Manscaped is bringing its starting 5 to take your game to the next level. The chaos of March is here, and you better be ready to dominate, whether you're throwing down on the court or throwing down a reality check on Steve from accounting after airballs another presentation. Either way, this lineup has you covered from head to toe, so stay sharp and feel sharper with Manscaped all season long. Team, this lineup was built for winners, so don't let your grooming game get benched. Head over to manscaped.com and use code GRIPLOCK for 20% off and free shipping, and get ready to score big with Manscaped. Let me introduce you to the lineup. First, at point guard, we have the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. This is the floor general, which delivers smooth moves like a perfect assist. Then at shooting guard, we have the Chairman Plus, slick and dynamic, providing a face shave as smooth as a no-look pass. Next, at small forward, we have the Handyman. He's compact and clutch, your quick, precise playmaker for those critical moments. Then at power forward, we have the Beard Hedger. Big beards need big-time power. This beard crushes even the toughest stubble with adjustable precision. And at center, we have the Dome Shaver Plus, dominating the paint, keeping your scalp so smooth you'll never get dunked on by stray hairs. Be the all-star of your grooming routine with Manscaped's full power shave portfolio. Head to manscaped.com and use code GRIPLOCK for 20% off and free shipping. Or, if you need it today, you can find Manscaped at a store near you.
Sure can.
BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With a large selection of odds on everything from the NBA, college basketball, NHL to UFC, head to BetOnline today and don't forget to use promo code BLEAV for your welcome bonus
every time.
on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Holy crap, Hunter, you're popping off.
I have to do that one every week, so I have
That was
basically
impressive.
memorized.
He's on fire.
I didn't know it was possible to use so many sports analogies when talking about grooming.
Well, it's March, baby.
I just didn't know it was possible.
Are you aware of the madness?
I'm not aware of the madness.
Well, Liberty's dancing this year.
Yeah.
First time since 2021,
Yep.
I
The
believe.
Flamettes?
Since I left school.
Well, no. Well, the Flamettes, women's college basketball, also dancing.
I did not know that the women's college basketball is called the Flamettes.
That's not. That's the dance team, but I was just saying.
All right.
Yeah.
We're dancing, man.
Duke
Gotta
is
go
also
play
dancing.
Oregon in their region.
In Seattle.
Do you mind if I
Friday
ask a
at
quick
10
question?
o'clock.
Yeah.
What does it mean to say we're dancing?
March
We
Madness.
made the tournament. The
Okay,
NCAA
gotcha,
tournament.
gotcha.
Yeah. So did Duke, and Cooper Flagg's going to return.
So did North Carolina.
Good for you,
We
huh?
shouldn't
North
have.
Carolina. And so did freaking 13 teams from the SEC.
They're good. And
The
SEC
I
is
think
good.
they're overrated.
They are not.
I think they're overrated. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We're quickly going to see.
And I was talking college ball.
Well, because one last thing I'll say is no one that has a 6-12, I believe it was 6-12 conference record should get an at-large bid. And there were several of them from the SEC.
Well, the SEC is the best conference in basketball. So
Because of the rankings, which I think are inflated.
They're just good teams.
We'll find out. We'll find out quickly.
Yeah, we will. You're
When
right.
Kentucky loses to a 14 seed in round 1, I will say I told you so.
That was talking ball.
All right, Waco Annual Charity Open. In FPO, you had Kristen Lott make her return and return right back to her throne, winning by 7 strokes over Holland Handley in second and Henna Blomroos.
Same old, same old.
Kristen's return went as expected. This was her 3rd time winning this event in a row.
Yep.
Now, in the final round, Henna was able to keep it at 2 strokes on the front 9, where Kristen showed some weakness. I mean, she had, I think it was actually on hole 9.
Putting was not good.
Putting wasn't good, but what really made me go, oh, like she's going to lose this was, I think it was hole 9. She had like a scramble shot, and it was just like a forehand. Smacked the tree like 10 feet in front of her. Yeah. Ended up taking a par to Henna's birdie.
Nobody was pushing.
Well, but then Kristen proceeded to go 6 under on the back 9, including a bogey, to extend her lead and ended up winning in a dominant fashion by 7 strokes.
Yeah, I say it didn't matter because Henna was just missing every putt. She's trying to tap out from 10 feet and is splashing them out. Yeah, guess like I do that too, but like that's the difference. Like it was such a like, oh yeah, that's right. That's how Kristen wins these events. Mm-hmm. Yes, she plays well. Like Kristen's a good disc golfer, but everybody pushing her is just doing the silliest stuff right in front of her. Like imagine, oh, I lost a stroke to Henna. Well, that won't matter. Every time as a competitor, like if you ever played against somebody in disc golf, competed, like when I'm playing against Hunter, there are days when Hunter gets near the circle and I'm like, great, he's going to make that. There are days when Hunter's putts off and I'm looking at a 15-footer thinking he might miss this, and it feels pretty good.
It does.
And that's how Kristen feels against these competitors.
Well, it doesn't as me. It feels good when I'm playing against someone doing that.
You can watch somebody throw it to 25 feet and be like, that's no big deal. And because it's hard to get under the basket every time, and that's what basically she has to do. And so it felt like same old. Evelina was in a similar boat. I think Evelina went 0 for 9 C1X. Somebody tweeted me in the final round.
Well, I don't know about the final. Evelina wasn't really in contention.
I got to find this.
But there is a video going around of poor Evelina on hole 10. It was like round 1 or 2, and she airballed it by.
I gotta find it.
I mean, she was 10 feet away from the basket.
We get one of those
clips.
She might have
missed it 10 feet.
We get one of those clips a couple times a year.
Well, so this is according to the PDGA distances. So take it with a grain of salt. But if you watched it, you'll probably believe it.
Here it is.
So Henna's putt, this is how it cost her. She missed a 14-footer on hole 4, an 18-footer on hole 5. This is just the final round.
And 14 feet is a tap in.
A 16-footer on hole 6, a 13-footer on hole 11,
These are all
and a
tap-ins.
15-footer on hole 15.
Like those are putts that even Hunter and I like very rarely. Like 15 feet is so short.
Oh, that's according to the PDGA. So it could have been a 20-footer, could have been a 10-footer.
Evelina in round
range.
2 was 0 for 6 C2 and 0 for 9 C1X.
Yeah,
and still shot 3 under.
It's going to be hard to win that way.
I mean, she was in the bullseye.
Now, had Henna made all of those putts inside of 18 feet, it would have only got her to 20 under, but I think the big thing would have been on the front 9. If she would have made a 14-footer, an 18-footer, and a 16-footer, she would have been up by 1 through 9.
There would have been pressure.
And so then going into the back 9, there would have been pressure where she proceeded to miss the 13-footer on 11 and 15.
Very well.
So she was throwing it very well, but
the only person that can beat Kristen Lott is Kristen Tatar.
True. Holland overall putted better than Kristen on the weekend because it wasn't Kristen's greatest putting weekend, but Holland just didn't throw the disc as well.
She sprayed it a little, and her forehand, I mean, I don't know if anybody saw, like on 17 that final day, literally kicked off the tree right in front of her at the corner and then somehow kicked inbounds. But like she's still struggling a little bit with that. You know what? She has a really, I don't know if she has an ultimate background, but she has a very like start high, like go down like you do an ultimate where you really hold that disc up and then go. And I think it gives her a bit of a struggle with the nose up. Because she really does the early release nose up fluff miss. Because when she hits it, it's great. She threw some great upshots and scram. Like when she's like flat to slight Annie, she's good, but she really is struggling with some of those like Heisers or Heiser flips with the forehand.
Now, when we have a round like this, it's easy to do kind of what we just did and focus on basically how the rest of the field played in comparison to Kristen, and it can diminish how good Kristen played. Kristen still played phenomenal.
But
she shot 23 under. She struggled some on the putting green, but I heard this stat, and I don't have a way to confirm it, but I have to believe it because it was from Charlie Eisenhood's mouth, that this is the highest Kristen's ever averaged at an event.
Oh, wow.
He said 10-10 was the previous highest. She averaged 10-16 here.
Wow. That's interesting. That's actually very surprising, just considering.
I agree. She's 1,000 rated.
There's not really a ton of OB on that course.
Well, I was also thinking get to 1,000 rated, and the highest you ever event average was 10-10 is wildly impressive.
It's like just consistency. It shows. Yeah.
But I think that there is enough OB and enough wind out there that like the lower part of the FPO field did.
I mean, yeah, that's just what's going to happen.
Did blow up, and that's division. Similar to like when you used to have rounds at Fountain Hills. The reason the top got so high rated was the bottom struggled so much.
This was a classic we'll talk about it, but this is a classic. Like this course does not separate the MPO field, but it separates the heck out of the FPO field. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Now, over on the MPO side, you had Adam James taking it down, Simon Lizotte coming in second, and then Evan Smith and Nico LaCastro tying for third place.
A very Waco, like, fun names leaderboard.
Yeah. Well, MPO was an absolute dogfight. Going into the final round, you had 11 players within 4 shots of the lead. We'll start with Paul Macbeth.
I think there was legitimately 30 people that could have won this tournament on the final day. Like within like 7 or 8.
Yeah, well, I can tell you exactly how many. Where's your line? 7?
We'll just see, because there was
7. There was 20 people within 7 strokes of the lead going to the final day.
Yeah, that probably would have been about the line then.
Yeah, there were 7 people. That was 14 under. Calvin was at 21. There was 19 technically people at 14 under.
Yeah.
Well, 14 under or better. So yeah, but it was so many people in contention. Paul Macbeth was in contention pretty much all weekend, but then a slow stretch of holes from 11 through 17
so bad
absolutely killed him, and he dropped out of the top 10.
It was so bad. It was
he finished in 11th there.
And the worst part was, I really felt like, and we felt like this going into the tournament, but I was like, this is going to be kind of where Paul brings it back, because the first 2 days he looked pretty collected. We hadn't seen the like rusty, like not figuring it out when he needs it Paul that we've dealt with, and then down the stretch just crumbled. The putt.
No, he had a phenomenal first 10 holes. He was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
down the stretch.
7. No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He came out the gates phenomenal.
Yeah,
7 under through 10.
I say the putt just went away. It was coming out on hyzer. He was missing high a lot.
Yeah.
He was pushing them, skipping off the baskets, threw a couple errant shots, and the worst part was everybody at the top of the leaderboard was trying to hand it over. Calvin was in the driver's seat one moment, and then he would miss a short. I mean, he missed a super short par putt at one point that gave Paul the lead, and I was like, oh, this is it. He's got the lead now. He's going to take it home. He's going to coast out, and then I think right after that is when he shanked it off a Trio B.
Yeah, Calvin,
and I was like, what the heck? Like, that was a crazy uncharacteristic shot.
Yeah, Calvin on hole 9, I believe is the putt you're talking about. He missed a 22-footer for par.
And and now he did drain one the very next hole, I believe, a longer one.
The next hole he hit a 39-footer for birdie.
Right. But
yeah, Paul on hole 13, I think, is the shot you were talking about, shanking it.
It was a classic me move.
Yeah, he basically early released it into the tree, and then it kicked, and there was a lot of discussion from the commentating. It didn't seem like there was much discussion on the course.
Yeah.
Because he kicked OB, and then from the angle, it didn't look like it progressed forward enough to miss the Mando. Once you had a different angle, it clearly did.
I'd say you could definitely tell that it kept fading.
Yeah, so it faded, missed the Mando, because that actually saved him, gave him a chance to save par.
And he couldn't get up and down.
But he missed it. He missed the, I think it was just outside the circle putt for the par save, threw it too high.
Every shot and putt
took a bogey
he
there.
threw from like hole 11 or 10 or in, he just looked ticked off. Like, he was not throwing the disc anywhere he wanted to. And it's crazy because he just lost it when it mattered. I mean, you had other, like AB was a similar thing. AB was still in the tournament, even all the way up to 17. AB was in the tournament and then ripped the forehand out of bounds. Like, it was a weird tournament because you had this thing where it's like, oh my gosh, there is a million people that can all win this, and then so many guys at the top started peeling away, the ones that were actually on the lead card other than James. And that's where obviously you get guys like Simon and Evan, whose hot rounds started pushing back in. Yeah,
well, Calvin lost by 4 strokes, and all 4 of those strokes were lost on hole 17.
It was bad.
So he had, I believe it ended up being 2 OB.
Yes. OB on the drive, OB on the second shot, and the second one was real bad.
And yeah, you end up taking a 7 to not Heimberg's. We're talking about Heimberg's. James' birdie.
And James threw an insane upshot on that hole. He threw it under the basket.
And what's funny is I don't even think I caught this because by the time this was happening, I wasn't focused on Calvin anymore. He hit a 45-footer to save his triple bogey. According to stats. I didn't even really pay attention to that because I think at that point I was just like, well, this is done.
45-footer.
That's what it said.
I think he had a 45-footer for double bogey that he missed.
And apparently it went to 45, according to this. He had a 48-footer to 40. I didn't notice that, but that's just what this says.
Maybe I didn't. I wasn't. But you're right. I was probably also not really thinking. I was
because at this point what was going on, and this is what we'll talk about now. At this point, while they're finishing out hole 17, you have Simon Lizotte on 18 getting a birdie to cap off. A wild back nine. He birdied 8 holes and bogeyed 12 to go 7 under on the back nine. And he birdied hole 18 to put him in the clubhouse at 29 under. Mm-hmm. While that was happening, Adam James was tapping out a birdie on 17 to get to 29 under. So James is then proceeding to the tee of hole 18, tied for the lead at 29 under. Birdie, he wins. Par, he goes to a playoff. And he threw a great drive and put it about 35, 30. Actually, let's see what they actually.
I think it was just outside the circle.
37 is what they call it. But it was outside the circle, deep, looking kind of back towards the water.
Enough towards it to where if he splashes left, and those Prodigy baskets will do that, or if he like skips or hits band, like OB is a huge possibility. Huge
the commentary team was wondering if he was going to lay up and just get to the playoff.
That's got to be the silliest thing.
And I was like, if he lays up and goes to the playoff, I mean,
you might as well forfeit.
Yeah, I like my chances of making a 37-foot putt instead of going toe to toe against a guy in a playoff. That doesn't make any sense.
Also, there was like no wind.
Yeah,
like,
so
it's just it's just outside the circle.
I don't know why they were even acting like that was a possibility, but if he would have done that, it would have been.
The only way
I kind of wanted him to just so I could tweet about it.
The only way you would even consider that is if you were looking directly at the water, and even then, you better run that.
But
putt.
Even then, still just run. It's in your hand.
Exactly.
It's like all I had to do is make a 37-foot.
Exactly. But this one would have been shocking.
Didn't matter. Step putt, boom, dead center.
Drained
the putt for the win. Gets a 30 under, and he's able to pick up his first win since 2023 Portland Open.
Wow.
It's been a little over, I think it's like almost 20 months at this point. I mean, overall this weekend, Adam just threw the disc very well.
He's on an every 2-year pattern, I believe. I think he had 2021 MVP.
Oh, there you go.
So I'll see you in 2027, Hamas.
He threw the disc very well all weekend, and he just didn't make bogeys. He led the field in bogey and double bogey percentage. If you look at Adam compared to Simon on the weekend, it really just came down to putting.
Yeah.
Adam Hamas putted 8% better than Simon in Circle 1X and gained a little over 2 strokes to him on putting, and he won by 1.
Well, when Hamas is putting well, it is one of his biggest assets, especially that just outside the circle putt. He's deadly because he has a really complete game. He's just kind of phases in and out.
Yeah.
Can I give a quick shout out? Nicola Castro, the lefty backhands,
legendary,
were unbelievable.
He was tossing lefty backhands.
Oh my gosh.
You can see one on our Instagram.
He wasn't just tossing them. He was ripping lefty hyzers and parking baskets.
Hole 17's approach shot, which is like from up on that hill going down very tight, very difficult forehand.
Mind you, he's playing for a lot of money. He finished in third.
Yeah, he tied for third. He ripped a lefty backhand from, I mean, it had to be like close to 300 feet out.
Yeah.
Parked it. Yeah. And he had done it the hole before,
he
too.
He decided that was his thing, no more forehands?
Well, if you remember, he did this at USDGC years ago.
Before.
Yeah.
Where he just started working on his lefty, and like hole 3 at USDGC, he would like go lefty.
You could be convinced that he's just a lefty. Like, it's just really good.
Yeah, it looked phenomenal, and he had enough confidence to pull it out, and a
good weekend.
It worked well. Yeah, it was a great weekend.
I feel like he's always dangerous in Texas.
Well, he's won Waco before.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but he also won Belton, I believe.
Might
so
have.
I think he's got 2 Texas wins.
But yeah, as soon as I tweeted about Adam Hamas winning, people immediately started responding upset because of the OB call from
now
round
let's get
2.
into we gave him the flowers. Now let's get into the controversy.
So this is an interesting one. If you didn't see it, there's only one camera angle of this OB disc. And I called it an OB disc because from said camera angle,
it's obviously OB.
It's obviously OB. The tough part here is we don't know what it looked like from any other angle.
Right.
So the card, and this is on hole 18, round 2. The card ends up
Holy
calling,
crap, he rips this thing.
Yeah, that lefty backhand.
His lefty backhand looks awesome.
Yeah. The card ends up calling Adam Hamas inbounds.
To the shock of everybody.
Yeah. Again, the hardest part is just we don't have another camera angle. Because they clearly saw, because if you look at it only from the camera angle that exists,
okay,
it is clear as day OB. It's not even a question.
Really?
Oh yeah, not even.
So that's what I'm thinking is like from over top, you got to see something else. Well, there's got to be something else.
The tough thing, yes, camera angles matter, and this is why. First of all, now the problem is a lot of people are dissecting the dialogue, right? Because to the viewers at home, it's clear as day OB. It looks like. So they're basically saying Hamas should have looked at it immediately and called himself out. Him. I guess saying they can hear him saying like benefit goes to the player, and like it was definitely a type situation. Does he get that call if this is round 3? Probably not. It's a lot easier to give that call to your card mate in round 2 when you're thinking I'll get that stroke somewhere else. And for this is round 3, he's probably not getting that call. But also, there's blades of grass and paint, and that makes this difficult. String would have been better. It's funny because everybody, like, the guy tripped on the string, and everybody's like, no more string, use paint. And then this happened, and it's like, can't use the paint, got to have string.
Well, the string just has to be in the ground.
The string just has to be tight to the ground. And also, it's way more accurate. We wouldn't have had this issue because the paint and blades of grass just gets hairy. Am I ready to condemn him over it? No, because I wasn't there. And also, like, at the end of the day, your card mates did give him the call. So it must not have been completely cut and dry.
Yeah, surely.
But we only have one camera angle, so like that is the tough one where it's like to us it looked so OB, like there's not even an argument. Not a single person really on the internet was like, well, but if you look closely, like no, it just like to our angle, it just looks out of bounds.
Yeah. I was trying to find because benefit to the player is always an interesting one because it's like, from my understanding, I'm trying to pull it up so I can just read it again. Yeah, so benefit to the player only comes into effect when there's a tiebreaker, which there could have been here. It could have been Adam and someone else, because that's the other hard part is like, I'm obviously, if I think there's a chance my disc is in bounds, I'm going to say my disc is in bounds. Like as a player who you're going to be the hardest one to convince the otherwise most of the time, because it's like, why wouldn't you fight for your disc to be in bounds if there's an argument to be made?
Right.
So that's one that's always going to be that way. So if you get one more person to side with you, it splits the card. And if the card is split voting-wise, that's when benefit goes to the player because it's like 2 and 2.
Because PDGA is using benefit to the player as a tiebreaker, whereas I think the players are using it as logic and reasoning.
It a lot of times gets played to like, hey, if this calls too close, benefit goes to the player. It's like, no, everyone has to make a call. You just have to vote. Yeah, we need it. We need it, and that's where it gets kind of like skewed. Is benefit doesn't go to the player when it comes to making a call.
Yeah,
the call's the call. Benefit comes to the player if it's me and Trevor think my disc is in bounds, Konner and Silas think it's out of bounds.
Which really benefit goes extra to the player because you count as one of the players.
That's what I'm saying. Is it still kind of works out, but
I found a picture. It's in bounds.
The line is not safe.
The line's out of bounds.
The line is out of bounds.
Oh.
Yeah. Konner, come on. You think if the line was safe, of course.
Well, I just didn't know. I didn't know if I found like a picture of somebody that was there to.
It has to be touching.
I thought I found maybe a different perspective.
It has to be touching on the other side of the line.
Has to get all the way in.
Okay.
So like to that picture, like it's pretty clearly out.
All right, I'm gonna continue looking.
Okay. If the line
there's
was
not
in,
another picture.
That's the only
I can
one.
see. Yeah, you're right. I can see paint on the other side of the disc.
That's where I'm thinking we are looking from a like left angle down at the disc. Like maybe if you go up and over.
I'm sure it looked well, it's always like, okay, if the OB is over on this side and I'm standing over there and I'm like looking at that angle, now I can't see
the hard
paint.
thing
Where's
is if it's touching. The hard thing is
like,
if it's
Calvin,
touching.
come over here, like look at it from here.
I can see it happening because if it's touching OB, if it's touching inbounds at all, it's safe.
Right.
So if it's touching a strand of grass,
it's got to cross the plane. That's where you can't pull grass in to the OB plane.
The problem
but if
is,
the OB is the painted grass,
the OB is the painted line.
That's what I'm saying. Is your
but the line is on the grass.
Isn't going to be just this. It's going to have breaks in it.
But what I'm saying is the
because I can see the grass is bent underneath it.
That's the argument that gets made a lot. This is not true.
I know, but I at least see how he could,
because the grass isn't like the line, the painted line here. If you bring OB grass, like I could have a piece of like what you call it? Like if you're in the middle of a creek, okay, and there's a stick laying in the creek, that's like on the line, and you're sitting on that, the stick, like you're not all of a sudden magically in bounds because you're just on a stick. It's got to be like ground connecting out there where there's not surrounded by water anymore.
I agree. But how do you draw the line if the line moves?
Had an indent.
If the line had an indent, but it doesn't.
That's right. Well,
there's a difference between a line having an indent and grass coming into a line.
Well, right, but grass coming into the line.
I know, but the line is painted on the grass, though.
Right, because the line is on the grass. So if it bends inward,
you saw the same picture I saw.
I agree. I think it was out, but I'm saying like that's probably the argument that was being
made. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm saying that I could see how they would make a case for that.
There's clearly a painted line under it, and there's grass from this side bent over the painted line.
Yes.
But there's clearly a painted line under that grass.
Yes. Oh, yeah. No,
that's what I'm saying.
I completely agree with you.
That doesn't negate it.
That disc
I agree with you. This disc from this picture is out of bounds.
That's where I think.
I'm just saying I could see how somebody could try to convince somebody otherwise, but I don't think it's valid.
From above, it looked in. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Because we're looking from this side down.
Or did it?
We're looking from this side. I think it did only because these guys do this every week in and week out. And like if it is that clearly OB, where it's like no shadow of a doubt.
Who else is on that card? Though?
If you guys, and just to let everybody know, if you guys go
two non-confrontational people.
I don't know who the fourth one was.
That's what I'm saying. It all depends on the people. Because if you don't have, if you got people who are too worried about their own game and it's round 2,
we should post this picture on our Instagram and say inbounds are out.
I already tweeted it yesterday.
It's out.
It's
unanimous online.
Yeah, it would get comments.
It's the angle. To me, there's got to be a top angle that at least looks closer. Because from that angle, like even if I'm a non-confrontational person, that is the angle. That's what it looks like. And someone's like, I'm in bounds. I'd be like, I'm sorry, but there's paint.
I saw for the first
Right
time
there.
in the Players Championship. Did you see in the broadcast for the Players, the PGA?
I saw some of it.
So they were doing this thing now where a guy would get a lie in the rough, and then they would somehow get like an HD close-up picture of their lie
I did see that.
and put it up on the screen. It was the coolest thing ever. I'm like, that's what we needed at this disc.
I think what
Somebody need to get in there and get all the
it might have been
angles.
as simple as someone walked up with their phone and took a picture like that, because that's almost what it looked like.
Oh yeah, no, I bet it. I'm sure it was.
But that's all.
But it was awesome.
Yeah, because I that's where I'm not gonna call Hammers on anything crazy, because we have one angle, and I have seen multiple times where like that angle, if you just look a different way, it's like, oh, from this angle it looks clear as day inbounds.
And yeah, like I said, it happened in round 2. The tournament could have been won and lost by other people many times. It's not the end all be all, but it was a little scandalous, and that's why we're talking about it.
Yeah, because the other thing that people got called, and I didn't see this, so I'm assuming it's in Simon's vlog, or I might have just missed it during coverage, but apparently in round 1, Simon on hole 15 got set. The flagger told him he was OB when he was actually inbound, so he got stroked for a misplay because he played from the wrong spot.
Can the spotters and flaggers stay out of the spotlight like 1 week?
Well,
they're just getting roasted.
I think
somebody got because somebody kept a disc in bounce.
It was Holland's disc, I believe. Which, I mean, this case this weekend, like, the only place the woman could have went to avoid it was the water.
Yeah.
Like, the disc took a weird skip the last second and hit her and fell back in bounds, and it was like, the only way she's missing that is if she jumps in the water.
Just can't catch a break, man.
Which, I mean, could have been a great story. Spotter goes swimming to, like, make sure Holland stays out of bounds.
Right. She would have set the new
It ended up
example.
not mattering because Holland didn't win. I believe it was Holland, but regardless, it was a big enough separation that it wasn't the end of the world. But yeah, another spotter did get hit.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Well, I think some of it is just a question of why do we need spotters on certain holes? Like, because there's certain holes where, yes, I need to know if I'm progressing way forward or
Probably
not.
for pace of play.
But again, if I like, there's a lot of holes where a spotter's waving a flag, and it's like, I still am going to have to progress all the way up there to find out if I'm inbounds or out of bounds anyways. It's simply just to let them know on the tee.
Well, but also a good bit of the time it's to let us know on the broadcast, though. There's a good time where a lot of times you get a 50-50, and I like seeing the flag because now I know if the shot's out of bounds.
But it's just a lot of times it can cause more issues than it helps.
Disagree.
It can.
I think
on certain holes. On some holes, it's great. You have to have it.
I think it helps me all the time, and I think there's like maybe one incident per tournament that doesn't end up affecting the entire tournament.
Well, but why can't we just use a catch cam to show if a disc is inbound?
Let's just replace them with AI.
Because a lot of times a catch cam angle just doesn't give you the right angle. It's right up on the line. Or they're like standing 50 feet away and just looking towards the woods.
Yeah. I don't know. I've always thought that of, like, sometimes they'll throw an approach shot.
There are definitely.
And a flag will, like now, Simon on hole 15, I think that spotter's needed because the difference between you either have to take your spot all the way back or you go all the way up.
Right.
But the problem is it comes in like with this situation where if there wasn't a spotter, there wouldn't have been a misplay, but pace of play would have sucked. So that's like a spotter had to be there, but there's certain holes where a spotter is just like basically just so that the players know if they're inbounds or out of bounds. And it's like it doesn't really do anything, and then if they make the wrong call, it can cause issues.
Waco is so tough too because everything is so tight to where the discs, like, there's only so many places to be. It's different if you're playing large fairways, and that's why golf like this isn't a huge issue. Like, balls go into the gallery, but with spotters, like, it's a tiny golf ball on this ginormous fairway. The odds are just so low of you being in the way.
Well, but also
it's a lot hard to be that precise.
But the spotters, they're not there for the players. They're there to, like, tell the player, like, this is where your ball is, but they're not, like, I've never seen in golf a spotter waving a green flag or red flag. No.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, there are people everywhere.
Yeah, but
they're not getting hit.
Yeah,
is basically the point I'm making. Like, they're able.
I'm not talking about someone getting hit.
But
I'm saying this what cost Simon the stroke was a spotter waved a red flag when he was actually in bounds.
Right. Well,
he didn't get touched by the disc.
That's just on the volunteer.
Well, at the end of the day, it's on Simon. Because if you think you're close in bounds, the rules just you got to call a provisional, play it, and then you would have been fine.
Yeah.
So that just, but I mean, yes, he was told out of bounds by someone who.
I'm gonna probably listen to the spotter.
Yeah. But that's end of the day. It does come back to the player just because the spotters aren't officials. So like they're not. That's the other crazy thing is they're just out there waving a flag and it's like they can wave whatever they want.
Just got there.
Like if I just don't like a guy, I can just be like. Red.
I will say
it's like inbound by 10 feet. I
will say Adam Hammons' DMs might be on the hot seat right now because not only did this kind of like weird thing go down, but it happened against Simon.
That's the toughest part.
The Simon fans are probably vicious right now.
Yeah, that's the toughest part. But again, we only have one camera angle on the Adam Hammes OB, so we don't know what actually was seen. It happened in round 2, and Hammes played great all weekend, regardless of if that is in or out. I mean, if it's out of bounds, he technically ties Simon, they go to a playoff. He might have still won when it's all said and done. So Hammes, congrats on the great win there. Took it down. And, the other highlight I want to make is Jake Mon, 15 under, final round. I actually want to see what this, what it was number-wise.
Am I the only one that thinks
49.
Jake Mon every time you say that?
No.
Yeah. 49. So he shot one off of Paul's 18 under from a few years ago before the pars were adjusted, because I believe Paul shot a 48 out there, and that was when par was different. So that was 18 under. He shot a 49 this time around, 15 under par.
Spicy.
Crazy round to jump up 34 spots into 26th place.
Wow.
So that's one way to do
he
it
really
right there.
figured it out that last
He was
day.
6 under going into the final round and shot 15 under final day.
Just figured it out.
The other thing that was interesting out here was it was most notable on Kristen Lott's bag that the Latitude 64 logo on the top of her bag was duct taped over.
Interesting.
Bottom of the bag still had the Latitude 64 logo.
Interesting.
Top of the bag was duct taped over. And you saw it on coverage, so Disc Golf Fanatic on Facebook screenshot it and posted on Facebook and was like, what's going on here? Why is it over? And Silver Lot, very reliable source because it's Kristen's husband, responded and said, the Latitude 64 logo cannot be used without the Latitude 64 words anymore. So basically the swoosh logo, little thing, can't be used unless Latitude 64 is next to it.
What?
Someone else that I can't confirm if this person's a reliable source or not said they posted the O'Neill surf company logo. It looks the exact same as Latitude 64's logo.
It doesn't, though.
It's very close.
In the realm of logo world, though,
I mean,
it's not really that close because you have a whole second line. Even the shape of the first line, there's similar.
Well,
yes,
the claim is that they sent him a cease and desist.
Yeah.
That's what that person claimed.
I don't know that I'm
Clearly,
buying that.
something in the legal world happened because you don't just duct tape over a bag last second for a reason. But that person, they just said O'Neill sent him a cease and desist. I don't know if that's true or not.
Okay. Yeah, in fairness, the outer curve is the same.
Yeah.
So that's valid. They definitely had they basically took away the inside part of the wave.
Yeah, I see it.
I didn't think they were that similar on the outside.
They're very similar.
But yeah,
they're basically identical.
Hit them with it.
So whether or not it's actually O'Neill, I don't know, because the only thing that we can confirm is Silver said the logo can't be used without the words. That's very reliable. He would know. He's Kristen's. He might be the one that duct taped over the logo.
Here's the good news. O'Neill was watching the disc golf broadcast. We might have outside sponsorship.
I don't know if O'Neill was watching the disc golf broadcast.
They were looking, man.
And I also, again, we can't confirm it was actually O'Neill. It does make sense. That story does make sense because something clearly happened for you to duct tape over your bag. If it was just Latitude's we kind of want it only to be, then it would have been we'll fix it later. We'll get you a new bag shipped, wear it for this few tournaments.
That is such a difference.
To duct tape over it means something definitely happened.
That is also just such a difference between it's just the difference in the resources that disc golfers and disc golf teams have. The fact that if that happened in golf, they would have had a new bag on the truck, hot stamp, whatever they needed to do to get an actual product in their hands, not a bag with tape on it.
Yeah.
It's just funny. That's what they had to do.
Was it silver duct tape?
Mm-hmm.
That bothers me.
It was just kind of grayish, but yeah. It was the silver one.
That's what gets him, man.
That's what got you?
That's bothers me.
That Silver used his namesake of duct tape?
Was it the glossy, straight up duct tape, glossy?
It didn't look that glossy. If you were watching the broadcast and not it was very easy to not notice it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It kind of stinks for Latitude 64 too, because all it looks like is some anti-Latitude statement by the players.
Yeah.
It's not. A great
it does.
look.
That's what's so interesting that the top logo's covered, but the bottom.
Because the bottom says Latitude
It makes
64.
sense. Yeah, it makes sense. It's just.
I guess that helps then. At
that's
least
why as soon as
covering up the part that's
exactly as soon as you say that it has something to do with the legal issue, it's that makes a lot of sense considering they only covered up one logo.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what the legal issue makes sense, but there's no way to confirm.
If their new logo isn't a compass rose, I don't know what they're doing. Latitude.
Well, what's interesting to me
Longitude
is
64.
Surely they have it trademarked. I would think. Maybe not, but Latitude.
We saw their books.
That's what I'm saying. We saw their books. There's a lot of trademarks in there.
Yeah.
So it might just be a situation where until we get it figured out, this is the let's just make sure we don't get ourselves into any other trouble, cover it up. But we have the rights to it because I think you can get a cease and desist and then be able to just like counteract and be like, no, we have the rights to do this, use this.
Right.
Because you are right in that the logos are different because there's an inner line.
Right.
The outer just looks identical. So
Everybody go buy up all the Latitude discs you can before that logo's changed. They're going to be worth $1 million.
especially at foundationdisc.com.
They're going to be worth $1 million.
$1 million.
Recoil.
Now, in the Manufacturer Cup, we have a very interesting situation that happened this week.
All right.
So, again, we're going team rosters this year to try to balance it out and to bring in the FPO, which means only the top 6 MPO players count, and then the top 2 FPO players count for each team. So this week, what happened is Adam James is the 7th highest rated or highest ranked Discraft player, meaning he won the event and earned Discraft 0 points. Because he's not on their roster.
Yeah.
So this is the first 5 events of the year. After the first 5 events, then it'll be recalculated. So Adam probably will get in there.
Let's all pretend like that's going to matter for like a second. Oh.
It's a big deal.
Good job, Hunter.
Discraft is going to win.
You're doing a good job.
Well, no, I'm just saying it is a big deal.
Oh my gosh, Hunter, you're a really good actor.
I'm just saying that is a big deal that they lost 25 points by Adam James.
Right, but it's
there.
not a big deal because they're going to win by a bajillion points.
They will. They will. Discraft, that was also the only Discraft player in the top 10 this week.
That
on
is
the MPO
crazy,
side.
though. That part of it is kind of crazy. I mean, the leaderboard was insane.
Simon, Nico, Evan Smith, Andrew Marweed.
Paul and AB, though, shot themselves
Evan
out
Scott,
of there.
Gannon Burr, Calvin Heimberg, Greg Barsby, Grady Shue.
Yeah, shout
out Grady Shue.
My dad saw
Big
Shue on the
Shue.
leaderboard. Was like, is that Grady Shue?
Yeah.
Like, first of all, you know ball. Second of all, it is. Isn't that crazy?
So now over on
It's a fun
FPO
combo,
side,
Trev.
you had Hannah Blomers and Jessica Weiss in the exact same situation where they both placed in the top 10, but were not the top 2 FPO players for Innova, so therefore they earned Innova 0 points. Innova's top 2 FPO is
because they have Evelina and Owen.
Owen Scoggins and Evelina Salonen are there too.
Wow, that's kind of tough for them because Innova has, they're deep on the women's side there.
Yeah. So, anyways, after you add in the points here, Discraft still led this week at 29 points gained because you had Holland Handley and Missy Gannon made 29 points.
And they'll be there.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the funny part is their top 2 FPO players came in 2nd and 4th.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Discraft now has a 70-point lead almost after 2 events. At
Second place is going to be exciting.
So Discraft has 115.5 points. Discmania has 48.5. Innova has 46.8. MVP bumps up to 33 points. Then Latitude 64 is at 32. Dynamic Disc is at 23.5. DGA 23.3. Lone Star 13.5. Open Bag, shout out Grady Shue, 5.2 points.
Can I get a gateway check?
0.
We'll get them next time, boys.
You got to get out there, Con.
Gotta get a gateway check. Guys, I'm sure you saw plenty of times the commercial with Calvin looking in the mirror being like, you look good today.
Yeah. You know what? I got to say,
from a
decent
what?
commercial.
Yes, not a bad commercial because most athlete involved commercials anyways end up having a little cringe factor because they're not actors. And to be fair, other than the Calvin line, everybody else did a pretty good job.
I did think it was funny they played on Gannon taking forever.
Right.
As like, hurry it up. He's like, hey, there's no 30-second rule and checkout, man.
It was
that's funny.
That's funny.
It was a decent commercial. I didn't mind it at all.
Overall, solid commercial for the Pro Tour. Then, commercials in general are slightly better this year.
Well,
there's still some that are rough.
Well, yeah, I'll name drop.
Wow, Trev.
Ooh, he's hitting him with it.
Dang.
Villanart Trev.
So, the funny thing was, I was literally...
Don't start with that, Con. Don't start the Villanart. You probably love to see Paul Macbeth hole 11 through 17.
Yeah,
you probably loved that.
No, I was not thinking that when you guys were talking about it.
Did you guys think it was like really crazy rivalry whenever they were like playing an AB's video together? Paul and Reg.
Talk about that.
Like all buddy with each other. In any case, I was like, oh, the commercials are doing pretty well. And then very next one, DGA comes up. And listen, I understand people have marketing budgets, and they're, sometimes, but you spend, I know how much the commercial cost just to put it up there. It was just shaky, B-roll footage and big text. And it's pretty rough. So there we go.
That's kind of mean, Trevor.
Those are my hot and cold commercials of the week. Stay
They
tuned for
probably
next week.
tried really hard.
No, they did not.
On that.
No, they
You don't
did
know
not.
that.
No,
Somebody's
they did not.
nephew tried really hard on that.
I think they might have actually had Cole Allen do it. And there's a good chance.
What the frick are you saying about Cole Radallen?
Yeah,
He's
it's
not.
interesting.
He's not a video producer.
You don't know that.
He might
yeah,
be.
exactly. His
Yeah, he
Mini
could be
Cooper's doing
dirty.
him well. He's got really good at videos while
we've
we're
gotta-
driving the Cooper.
Listen, man.
I wonder how his Mini Cooper's doing. I'll text him.
It costs him a lot of money. We talked to him about it.
Yeah, we talked to him at
in Florida. It's costing a lot.
He loves it though.
Loves it.
I told him that was going to happen.
Yeah,
I don't know that you did tell him. I think you told that to us afterwards.
I told you guys that was going to happen.
I think
you did not tell him that.
You were talking to him about it, and we got in the car. You're like, that Mini Cooper's gonna cost him so much money. I think that's what happened.
Yeah,
but you were right.
Yeah,
you're right. All I'll say on the Paul and Ricky thing is we saw a Ricky Wysocki in the bag, and I said this on the preview show, and I've now verified. When Ricky's holding up a 6-claw Athena that's in his bag, just know the 3 claws on the left side are for 3 times he came in second place in 2012, 2015, and 2019 to Paul. And the other 3, he probably came in like 5th place. But yeah, so that's why I think Ricky does this for motivation, so he can look at it and be like, man, 3 of those claws should be mine. I'm going to throw this really hard.
Rick Beast.
That's why I came in like 25th this weekend. It wasn't great because
he probably was throwing the Athena and just was crying.
Yeah, I can't wait for them to start. I can't wait for them to start the Rick Beast podcast.
I guess it is
where it's just where it's just Paul and Ricky just talking and be like, oh, aren't we best friends now?
That's gonna be the collab disc.
Well, I mean, they literally did a like Luna battle.
In like
they're basically made out.
It might be time to start the Ricky Waco narrative. We kind of like.
Well, I don't think it's time to start. I think it's fully in motion.
Well, it wasn't as of the preview show.
Yeah,
we were kind of like, now I might
true.
think it's time now. I got you in the right mood.
What
the other
is
thing
that?
Ricky can't play at Waco.
Okay.
He hasn't won Waco.
He's coming second.
He's played it a lot of times.
I'll jump on. Ricky can't play at Waco.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of the only other Waco narrative I forgot to talk about was there was a lot of hate towards the course going into the week from players.
Oh.
Apparently, Ezra Aderhold and Aaron Gossage were talking about it in their practice round, and then
not shocked about those names.
Simon Lazard apparently, I haven't listened to this, but in his like podcast he does with Joey Tamale and Eagle, apparently he was talking some smack about the course.
Well, no kidding. I can't imagine.
But what I will say is, if you're going to talk smack about the course, you do have to kind of back it up. And Simon earned the right to talk smack about the course.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go into pretty heavy detail on the course, especially when we get into the debate night, because I got people in the debate night chat just
Ezra Aderhold played
fighting all over
I loved this course. My thing is the finishing stretch of hole 17. Like, realistically, I like the dogfight it gives you, but it does it in a way.
It's a once a year.
It does it in a way that's not like the Preserve does it, where it's just like chuck a bunch of discs out there. Who cares where they go? Like, it's a very tight technical, but it still challenges the players.
Yeah.
And then it provides a very interesting finishing stretch that allows things like Calvin Heimberg's 7 to Adam Hammes' 3 to happen. To where even when you get to the final holes, anything can happen. And I love that. I don't think we have enough of that.
I think it is very unique. And, it doesn't look like a blast for the players that throw hard. I mean, AB was having nightmares out there on some of those holes.
But AB still got himself in contention.
Correct, because it is hard to take until you get to some of those finishing holes. It is hard on you see mostly bogeys. You don't see a lot of doubles and triples because if you throw it in the woods, you pitch out, you get up and down. The holes are short. I get it, but I'm fine with it being one time because it has history, it is unique, and it does provide an exciting finish. So one time the whole year we play that kind of course. That's that, and that's it. And it, I'm fine with that.
Guys, I do think that we should add into this podcast right now a quick moment of silence. Because somebody that we know and love is entering into surgery today, and that is New London Tech.
That's true. New London is getting pulled today and is 9 holes.
Crazy they chose.
I like to think of it as going through surgery.
Yeah, 9 holes are getting
Happy
removed.
St. Patrick's
9
Day,
holes
everybody.
are getting put in. None
Trevor,
of us
seriously,
green.
whenever we're
Celebrate.
in our moment of silence, Trevor, seriously.
Yeah, are we gonna dye the Blackwater Creek green?
Yes.
The James River's kind of already green.
Oh, it's brown right now. Yeah, it's that rain really did something.
Might help.
Yeah. All right, Trev. Time for the fan favorite segment of Trevor's Trivia. Right after these messages and a quick moment of silence.
The moment was silenced.
Well, for the audio
I feel
listeners,
weird. I feel weird about.
I'll feel weird
New
for the next
London.
2 months when we're like, well, why don't we should do that at New London.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's gonna be so exciting though when it comes back.
I do have a video idea to do at New London.
Oh yes, sir.
So
okay,
I'll bring that up later.
Let's do it.
Well, I won't bring it up on the podcast because I don't want anyone to steal my idea.
The price is right. The price is right. Trevor, we all want it. The price is right.
No.
I love The Price is Right.
I know you do.
In disc golf, I've never actually seen
I learned about
The
a
Price
new
is
game
Right.
show scandal.
Yeah?
There was a show, Press Your Luck.
Okay.
And basically, this is a very quick synopsis. Basically, the way the game worked was there's a video board that had flashing lights that went all over it.
Flashing!
And your goal was to hit your button at the right time. You earned spins. You had to hit your button at the right time to avoid these things called the whammies.
You're not doing nothing whenever you press that button.
And this guy studied it and realized it's not random. There's only 7 patterns. And he went on the show and won such a large amount of money, he like changed game shows forever. They're making a movie about it.
Heck yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. I love
Thank
when
you
they
for that
beat the
synopsis,
TV
Trevor.
networks.
I love that too.
Okay. Today's game is
I'm
pretty
beating
simple.
the TV networks today.
Take that. What's his name? Dick Clark?
Whoa. Language.
He's dead.
Oh.
I know, but who's the game show host? Who's the famous one?
Talking about Bob Barker?
Take that. Oh yeah, Bob
Also
Barker.
dead?
Take that, Bob Barker.
Go for Drew Carey. He's alive.
Carey.
Take that, Drew Carey.
There you go.
Points are made up, and the game's made up, and the points don't matter.
Amen, brother.
Okay. Here's the name of the game today.
Whose line is it anyway?
You guys are each going to get 3 picks.
Oh
Okay.
no.
I'll take Paul, Simon, and
No.
Kristen.
So
You're
Hunter-
taking Paul Simon. He didn't even play disc golf.
So Hunter will.
Music.
Trevor's going to kill us.
No, I'm fine. Whatever. Hunter will pick
Very
a
lax.
year, and he's going to pick a disc he believes came out in that year or as close to that year as possible. And then Konner also has to pick one. And then it'll go to
came out
Konner.
that year?
So it's like Hunter has serve, and then you have serve approved when it was approved. So if you're picking the year, you should probably be pretty certain or as close as you can because that's kind of like your advantage, and you're playing it to the other person.
I'm
Wait, so
very
I
scared.
pick the year. Connor says what disc came
You
out
get
that
to
year?
pick a disc as well. So if you know for certain one came out that year,
Okay.
then you want to obviously take that. It's your.
I don't think I'm going to be good
The
at this.
idea would be it'd be really silly if you picked a year and a disc and we're off by like 3 years when you were literally the one picking it.
Shoot.
So
Wait, how does it serve work
Shoot.
again? I was thinking of what disc I'm going to pick
So-
already.
if let's just say for example,
Don't steal mine. So just say a wrong year.
you are picking the
Say 84.
AVR in
you're
2025.
picking the Snowman and it came out in 2026. You're
Okay.
like, I know the Snowman came out in 2026. So I'm taking 2026 and my pick is the Snowman. And now Konner has to pick. And then he's so when you
but
are
Connor's picking a year or just another disc?
just
that came out
another
that
disc
year?
that came out that year.
Bacana.
Okay.
So he's at disadvantage, and
Got
then
it.
on his turn, you'll be at disadvantage.
Understood.
Okay, Hunter, you go first. You each get 3
I
picks.
am going to go with
I don't know if I'm going to be good at this. And I think the
2012 Judge.
answer is no. I'm not going to be good at this. I have no idea what
So
came out
you're
in
trying to find
2012.
something from 2012.
Okay, let's see. I started playing disc golf in like 2016. So what came out 4 years before that? Really good way of looking at it, Konner. Really good way of looking at it, Konner. I'm going to go with what came around the same time as the Judge. This is a hard year. Good job, Hunter. Wow. You're really good at this game.
This guy's dialoguing.
Did the Judge come out in 2012? That's the
Whoa,
first
whoa,
question.
whoa.
gonna
Can
say
we know
that.
that?
Okay.
That's,
Okay.
that's part of my whole plan.
That's a good point. I'm going to go with the
Just throws you a curveball.
Wombat 3.
I didn't have a plan.
Okay.
I think the Judge came out in
Judge did
2012.
come out in
Random
2012.
guess.
The
Okay,
Wombat
good
3
job.
came out in 2017.
Not that far off.
Konner has 5 points. Okay, Konner, your turn. You're serving, so pick a year and a disc.
Goodness. Okay, I'm going to go with ...2018, The Lion.
Good serve. Maybe.
2018 was quite a year for disc golf. We'll see here. What was coming out in 2018? You know, Discraft wasn't doing much yet. 2018, I was playing disc golf, playing a lot of disc golf.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the Convict because I believe it came out in 2016, and I feel like that'll get me close. Convict.
I don't even know what that is. dude.
Convict was 2015, so that's 3 points for you. The Line actually came out in 2019, so 1 point for you, Konner.
Okay, I knew I was close.
But you're still down. So you're down 3 points now. You've reduced your
Better.
little bit or your deficit. Hunter, your turn.
2004 Buzz.
Dear Lord, Hunt.
That was a real safe way to play.
2004. Okay, it's around the Buzz. The Hornet.
The Hornet's got to be older.
So the Buzz came out in
Not that much
2003.
older.
It was close. I just knew the 20 years was like.
I can't be
recent.
that much older, is the thing.
The Hornet came out in 2010.
7.
So that's 6 points.
So it's a lot newer than.
Why do I keep on thinking the Hornet's old?
I think the Hornet's old too. I was on the same.
It was
What
an
the
ace race.
heck?
was
It
an
must
ace
be
race
because
disc.
it.
I'm thinking the Hawk.
Yeah, the Hawk is very old.
But the
Hawk's
Hornet's
like 90s.
The Hornet's not.
It was an ace race in 2010.
It's out of production.
Correct.
I think that's why I think it's old.
Yeah, I think so. Me too.
Yeah,
I think so. Me too.
Okay, Konner, your serve.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty bummed right now. I'm gonna go with the. The Wizard,
Okay.
Oh gosh.
Getting old here could help you.
2005.
Okay. Hunter.
So I'm trying to go with what year the
2005.
Wizard, when I think the Wizard came out. Or I'm
No.
trying to go 2005.
2005 is the year.
Okay, so he just said okay. So I just need to ignore Wizard. 2005.
Good luck ignoring the Wizard. He'll do a charm on your brain.
Discs that are turning
He's
20.
gonna
this
charm
Yeah.
your brain.
Discs that are turning 20 this year.
Expelliarmus.
2005.
Trevor, remember when
You
we had that-
disarmed me.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
funny.
thinking about that.
That's funny.
What would it come around?
Dude, Trevor, we're gonna bull today.
I don't know.
No, we're not. We're
2005.
gonna fight.
No.
Just give me the Discraft.
The
Predator.
No, you
Predator.
can't have one. Predator came out in 2011.
Okay, so
I
the
don't know
Wizard
when it
actually
came
came out in
out. I don't
2002,
Not that far off though.
and so did the Predator.
Okay, great.
Oh.
3 points apiece.
Cool.
I thought the Predator and the Buzz
I
were
think I'm
close.
big time losing.
Okay, Hunter, your final pick. 2 more rounds here. 1 pick each. This is big. You could really seal the deal, eh?
2010 zone.
Oh, he takes the zone in 2010, isn't it?
Nice, Trev. Dude, Trev. I'm gonna go with the.
Yeah.
2010.
Yeah. Well, you know
The
about
Hornet.
it.
You know the Hornet came out in 2010.
A Hornet.
He can't reuse.
I know.
Oh.
I'm gonna
Silly
throw one out here for funsies.
loophole hunt over
Okay.
Well, he said the Hornet. I
The
thought you were about to give it to him.
JK Aviar.
JK Aviar. That surely can't be 2010.
I have no idea.
I actually have no
Is the
idea.
JK
I have no
Aviar
idea
its
either.
own approved mold,
It's gotta be.
or is it just a plastic of a different mold?
I sure.
It exists. So
Yeah, I don't think it is.
I don't think.
I think it's just a big beat Aviar and JK plastic.
Does he get a repick,
But
or
they're
does he
not-
just
it's so
I think
get
it's
different.
the
just-
Aviar?
well, I think he just
That's-
lost.
Yeah, it's fine. I just lost.
Yeah. Well, because the AVR, that would be
The JK Aviar is not its own thing.
I think it's just
the
a
AVR
plastic.
putter
But it-
mold is the mold there, 1987.
The Aviar putter mold.
Well, that's
So they're
the one.
considering the.
It's the same thing
big-
as the Yeti. It's not a different.
But they're saying the
mold.
big bead and the Aviar.
See, that's
No.
interesting because the Yeti-
AVR is 84. The AVR putter, I believe that's the beaded one. That's 87.
The interesting thing is the Yeti AVRs. A lot of them are concave.
'Cause then there was
It's
yeah,
a
that's
different
the
disc.
same with the thing
But
with
it's not,
JK.
it's not a mold.
The JK ones are typically concave as well.
Are they?
Yeah, a lot of times.
Well, that's because they're soft. I think you just
Yeah.
push them in. But
Well, I don't push them in. They're pushing on the shelf, Trevor.
What year did the zone come out?
2008. You were 2 points off.
Ooh,
It-
wanna
it's-
sucks?
I just remember the 10-year.
over, though.
I just remember the 10-year zones were somewhat recent, so I knew I'd be in the right ballpark.
Tenure zones. Trevor,
That's all
might
I based mine on, minus the Predator, was I knew the 10-year judges
Let's-
came out a few years ago. I knew the 20-year buzzes just came out, and I knew the 10-year zones were somewhat recent.
Maybe we can.
Trevor, might
find-
I ask, did you come up with the idea for this game?
Yeah.
It's a very good game.
Fun game.
Took me about 5 minutes.
Holy, he's
Let's see if
good
I can
at it.
find out when the JK AVR even released, because I would be super curious to know.
That's it. That
it's
is
made from the AVR driver mold.
So that would have been
Oh, so not even the
1983.
Aviar putter.
Well, there's no approval for AVR driver.
It probably just been the AVR.
No.
Not the AVR putter.
AVR
And then-
is the beadless one. That's the original.
But then you said AVR putter.
right.
was
But
the
then
second.
after that,
So I'm saying if it's the AVR driver mold, I think it's safe to assume it's not the AVR putter
well, let me
mold.
just
I
let me
broke the
let me
game.
read to you everything that is considered AVR in the approved discs list. AVR XD. It's not that. That was the first one. Then AVR. That's the original one. Then AVR putter. Then AVR XD retooled. Still not that one. Then CE AVR, XTV AVR,
Maybe it's that one.
AVR 3. No, that's 2015. So it couldn't have been because the Casey Pro AVR came out well
What's
before
the
then.
XTV AVR? Was that like the one they did for World Tour?
No idea. So
Remember
that's
that?
what I'm saying. Like there, it has to be AVR putter. Well, let's see what the AVR XD retool.
There's not an AVR 3
There's no
on there?
Pictures of it. AVR 3, but that came out in 2017.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, there's no AVR driver that was ever approved.
I wonder if the XTV is what the AVR X3 is.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Or is the AVR X3 just a flat AVR 3 or a beaded? I don't know. Anyways, Pick'em versus Tour Life. We got dominated week 1, which is good. They need a little head start. Mainly because they picked Kristen and we did not. Big dum-dums. Really, we just didn't. We got caught up in the MPO side of we were trying to pick 3 players in the top 10. and we took that same mindset to the FPO side instead of realizing that all you need in FPO is Kristen. Because you just need to pick the winner.
But there are weeks where you will get burnt for that.
Did you say Pick'em versus Tour Life?
Yeah, we're doing a Pick'em versus Tour Life. So you had like money to spend on players.
Okay.
But no, you won't, because as long as Kristen, the winning gets you 25 points.
Is winning OP?
No, it's in FPO, we just need to always pick Kristen because she'll win more than she won't. In MPO, I think we had the right strategy. We just
FPO is probably going to be a wash for the rest of the year and pick them.
Yeah,
so
most
that's
likely.
kind of a bummer that we got on the wrong end of that.
Because they have 43 points, we have 7.3 because they got 25 points for picking Kristen and they got 18 points for picking Simon. We had Joey Buckets, Ezra, and Paul. None of them got us points.
Yeah, because
they are all minus Ezra did to me.
Ezra and Paul both flaked on us. Joey Buckets, that was just a stab in the dark.
Yeah, so it's okay though.
We should have got good points. We were really set up at times during that tournament.
Yeah, we were set up to get a lot of points at one point.
Paul should have won.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. I mean, Ezra had the hot round one.
That's what I'm saying.
So if
like,
you want to look at it that way.
That's a darn. I'm just trying to say, like,
shame.
we were on the right track. We were sniffing up the right tree.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, well, let's do a gut check top 10 really quick.
Okay.
Trev.
Gut check top 10. Let's do this.
Who's your number one emotion? Who do you feel is number one?
Well, the hard part is we have to come with who's in 10th right now.
No.
That's the
No,
hard
I think we
part.
need to start at 1.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying that's going to be easy.
Well, it's not hard
that
because this is
easy,
gut
actually.
check. You can't get mad at us. Let's put
can.
that statement out here. You cannot get mad at us. This is gut check.
Yeah.
What did Ezra Robinson just finish at?
Like
Can't use stats.
whenever someone gets punched in the gut, do you get mad at them for what they say after? No. You understand because it's gut check.
Let's start throwing out, and that's just like
Ezra Robinson has to be in top 3. He won.
right.
Yeah, probably one.
Right. That was a stat. Be careful now.
So
True. You do need to be careful.
Also, even though Gannon has been bad, he's still been fine. So like Gannon
not
would
a
be,
stat.
Gannon,
Not a stat. I like
exactly.
that.
Those are just
Yeah.
adjectives.
So I think Gannon Burr in 3rd.
I like that
I think we got to go. Adam Hammes has to be in 1st or 2nd.
because he did. I
Second.
think he did pretty well at Supreme.
Well, I'm
as
saying he
well.
won.
Let's put that's a stat. Be careful now.
But like when someone
No,
wins,
he just won.
Yeah, he won.
yeah,
you gotta.
That's a stat.
He's
But
won.
He played really well both times.
This is
Say that.
I'm not here. This is
he played the best.
This is a statistic. This is
did
something I wouldn't use. He's won 50% of the tournaments.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use that.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, let's.
Well,
put,
like, that's the example of a statistic.
Let's do.
So let's go Hammes 2, Ezra 1.
Sure.
Because I feel worse about Hammes the rest of the season than
Yeah.
Ezra's.
Okay, sure. I like it. Okay, maybe Simon pops in.
Simon at 4.
Sure.
Don't
So
hate
who's
that.
won?
I think Paul at 5.
Ezra Robinson's 1.
Okay.
Paul is somewhere in here.
Paul Macbeth.
Paul's somewhere in here. Calvin's somewhere in here.
Calvin 6.
Sure. This is gonna be.
We need
bad.
Anthony Barella somewhere.
Oh yeah, let's go throw AB in there now. Yeah, he's been solid.
Probably Nico just for his lefty.
Might even have to put Nico in there.
We'll put Nico
let's
at
put-
10. We'll put Nico
Put
in
Nico
10.
as 10.
Nico,
'cause
let's
the
put
lefty
Nico's
goes.
lefty is 10. Nico's righty is like 15.
Well, Nico came in top
Well,
something.
yeah, he was good. He had top 3.
He played good. Who else is on lead card at like Supreme Flight? Like who are we not thinking about?
Oh gosh, now I gotta rack my brain. Well, I'm trying to think of this tournament too.
Oh, Ricky's got to be in here.
Okay, yeah, let's put
Ricky at 8.
Tournament, not a stat though. Yeah, Ricky still should be in there. Still should be in there.
So now we just need number 9 and we're done.
This is easy.
Who is the player we're missing?
Yeah,
Kyle Klein.
Kyle Klein.
I don't know. Oh, he did
Calvin,
play good at Supreme
Calvin
Flight.
Heimberg.
Heimberg's in there.
I don't know what Klein just did this term. It doesn't matter. No stats.
All right, Kyle
Kyle
Klein.
Klein. And that was gut,
All right,
gut feeling
so we
top
have
10.
Ezra 1, Hammes 2, Gannon 3, Simon 4, Paul 5, Heimberg 6, AB 7, Ricky 8, Klein 9. Just to check,
I was
let's just
gonna
look at
say-
the TGPT standings to see who we missed.
Who did we just,
cannot change it.
We can't change it. But
It is
if
locked
we,
in. But this is the current Disc Golf Pro
But
Tour
if we
standings.
were to change it, what would we have done?
Because this is what we could have just looked at and copied. Adam Hammes is first.
Okay, so far all these names are on the
Simon's
list.
2.
Kyle's
Ezra
in there
3,
too. This is a pretty good list.
AB's 4,
Evans-
Paul 5,
Evan-
Calvin 6, Gannon 7, Evan Smith
That's-
8, Kyle
but Kyle
Klein
Klein-
9, Nicola Castro 10. All we
Wow.
did is we switched Ricky and Evan Smith.
Oh my gosh.
That was we're better than when
Our
we nor-
gut health is ridiculous.
than when we're better at that than when we do stats.
that was impressive.
Honestly, that's pretty. You guys have to
Dang.
admit, like that's pretty good.
That's pretty great.
We just rattled off the top 10 minus one player.
Yeah. Well, and even that you
And-
can argue.
and Rick's
would you
historically
rather
better.
have Ricky in or Evan in?
Yeah, he had one.
Evan
bad
went
tournament.
26th
Grow
and
up.
third. Rick went 4th and
Grow
38th.
up.
He went 38th at Waco. Rick, what
Well,
happened
you
out
can't
there,
expect.
man?
He can't play at Waco.
Sure.
Yeah, that's
He's
true.
allergic to
That is
Waco.
true. Wait till Austin next week. Oh my gosh. Wow, I'm proud of us. Okay,
that was good.
FPO.
Oh, FPO, Kristen 1, Kristen 2, Kristen 3.
You know, I got a take here though. I think it goes Kristen Ella.
Okay.
She's been good. And then you throw in Holland, of course. And then
Missy had a bad first week. I don't like. Missy's gonna be in the top 5 eventually.
It's tricky because
Do you sneak Henna in there?
No.
Do you sneak Evelina Solomon in there?
Let's put Evelina because she's good. That's just going off of history here.
And then you want to put Missy or Owen in 5. I feel like.
Or Cat Merge even.
Cat Merge got us barely any points right there, so I'm kind of mad at Cat.
Okay, good point. I'm mad at Cat as well.
I think Owen Scoggins got us some points. Let's
Sure,
put
Owen Scoggins. Because the first event doesn't count for her, and she putts real well.
Okay. Do we even want to look at? Do we want to fact check against?
Yeah,
GPT?
I mean, it was fun. I mean, this one I think is going to
This one's going to be worse because Henna not being in there.
Right, but
I think I agree with not having Henna.
Can't make putts.
FPO.
And Evelina totally can, so it's perfect.
Ella, Holland, Evelina, Cat Merch, Henna Blomroos. Kristen only played one event, so Kristen will be up there in no time.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
We basically Cat Merch we took out and we put Owen in.
Cat Merch is a little bit of a snub.
And Henna we
but
took
we are
out.
Mad at Cat.
Henna
but not very
out.
mad. Sorry, we're not very mad.
No,
sad.
We
You're just sad
put
at
Owen
her.
Scoggins in over Cat, and we put Kristen Lott in over Henna.
We're pretty good at this.
I think we're fine.
Hey
there.
guys, we've been doing this a while.
We've been doing this. This is my 6th year of doing this podcast, guys. You think I can't make a top 10? All right, Silas next time.
I had a strong
It's a
argument for it
PA3.
last year.
It's PA3.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
I love the way you lie.
Dude, I owe you an apology. Someone sent us when you got it. Congrats. I completely slipped my mind.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Silas has got. I think it was episode 262.
Interesting turn of events here.
Trevor's gotten Silas Lexport, guys.
It makes me feel like he's about to get this because he's.
I
trying
knew
to, like,
as
turn
soon
the
as
rug.
as soon as you started saying whatever you were saying, I didn't know what you were going to say, but I knew you were acting because it felt very similar to whenever we do skits.
I'll take fake.
Oh, dude.
Listen, I'll take the fake. It's fine.
I
I wasn't even gonna bring it up. So
episode 262, I believe it was. If you want to go see it for yourself.
262. I got it tattooed on my chest.
So you had it tattooed.
I
on you the whole
forgot
time?
it was
Oh
tattooed
my
on there.
God.
I never take my shirt off.
Yeah, that is
that you just
interesting.
were going along with it.
Well, I didn't go along with it. I just didn't do anything.
That's.
Yeah, I was just silent.
Does that sound about
No,
right?
silence is not violence.
Yeah.
That's how the saying goes.
Oh, he's racketing his brain.
Absolutely racketing. It is full on
If I were
squash in there right
Silas,
now.
I'd pick a disc and it would be.
Silas doesn't put any rhyme or reason into it, so
Oh,
I'm not
that's
going to
what
put
you
any rhyme
think.
or reason into it either. I am going to go with a.
I'm taking the Falcon.
I just can't even think of a disc.
I'm taking the Millennium Falcon.
Warden.
Millennium Falcon. A Warden? You're taking a Warden?
Warden.
Millennium
A
Falcon.
Warden?
Millennium
Warden.
Falcon.
A
Could
Warden?
you imagine? Could you imagine Millennium Falcon? Could you imagine?
What's an evidence?
He was on the right brand.
What's an evidence? I didn't even know we had these in stock.
Dang.
Didn't even know we had evidence.
What a pull from Silas.
5-5
again.
-10.
This guy's
Sauce
unbelievable.
is the best at this. I would like to see anybody try to be better.
Trevor was once.
No. Oh my gosh.
No.
Now I'm just getting buttered up.
Well, ladies and gents,
He's
that's going to
got
wrap it
some
up.
what is he doing?
We will talk to y'all next week.